Folks, Hammy here. I like my potato chips, right? I actually had somebody, I don't know if they trolled me or what, but tried to tell me that the chips that I like are not Frito-Lays. Well, there's Dorito. Frito-Lay. My cheese crunches, right there. Frito-Lay. Lay's, and I couldn't believe that they said Lay's. Frito-Lay. Okay. But anyways, just to show you that every time I say Frito-Lay, it could be any flavor that you want. Now, what I'm doing today is I had little bits left in my Doritos. So, open that bag. I took a handful of my Cheetos, put them in the bag. I took a handful of Lay's sea salt and pepper chips, which are actually really tasty. I grabbed a handful of those and I put them in the bag. Now, they're in the bag. Okay, now I'm taking this beast and I'm going to smash these up, which I've already done. That's why the bag is flat. I'm trying to do this quick. And if you look in there, you can see it's nice and powdered. Okay, some people will use pork rinds. I'm making a shake and bake. And some people use the pork rinds, but I don't have any pork rinds that aren't stale. So I decided to go with cheesies. See how it goes. But I'm making two different types of pork tonight. I'm doing like the Chinese button ribs, and they just taste like button ribs, but no bone in them. And then I'm going to do some breaded buttons, as I call them, with this, and this. And if I like it, I might actually throw them in and do some pork chops. And all you do is put a little bit of egg in a bowl, mix it up, mix all your pork up with it, and put this on. I'll get back with you in a minute because I got to do this one hand, and it's going to get messy. Alright. Okay, this is my big chunk of pork. You can see how thick that is. I usually just score it like that when I freeze it, so if I want to cut it into chops, I can. It's just a big chunk of pork tenderloin. You see how that's all going to come off? Alright, it's been thawing for a day, so that's why it's not quite as red. But when you cut up your buttons, make sure you get the same amount of fat, well, at least a good chunk of fat to go with your meat ratio, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Just wanted to show you. You can see it still looks nice pink inside of there. You see all that marbling? It just looks yummy, okay? Alright, got to put this down again because I can't do this, and I'm home by myself, and I'm not getting pork all over my tablet. Alright, bear with me. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm cutting them off in slabs about this big, okay? Not too bad. And then you get nice little small bits like this. You see that? Okay. You want as much fat on it as you can get because the fat's going to crisp up and it's going to taste great. And it's pork loin, not pork tenderloin. This one you buy that great big one, it's like 20 bucks or something. And it's like, I don't know, about a foot and a half long, 2 feet long. Alright, so I'm going to do that to all this. And then here you can see just how much marbling and everything is still left in that. Well, we're still going to do the same thing to that. Or I might cut these up into like little chops or something and do them in the oven. And then we'll add some shallots and it's going to be awesome. Alright, I'll show you. Okay, stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got it all cut up into little pieces. And over here, Mr. Moon doesn't care for a whole lot of pork fat. So what I've done is I've just cut off the pieces that didn't have too much fat on them, and I'll do them up basically with the same flavor of Chinese food, button ribs, without the bone. And then if he wants to try the Dorito kind with the breading and all that, like the shake and bake, then he can. But I've got a lot here, so I got to get busy cooking because I'm probably going to have about 4 pans on the go at once. Alright, I'll get back with you. I know, back and forth. It's crazy. But thanks for sticking it out so far. And the reason that I'm doing it on the plastic plate and everything and the way I'm doing it today is just to show that you can do this while you're camping. You know, you don't need any special tools. You just need a knife and a plastic plate that you can cut it up on and your bag of chips. And if you don't have a rolling pin out there, take a stick, beat the bag up. You know, if you don't have an egg, you don't really need it. You can use water or anything else. So what we're going to do when I start is I'm going to find as many pieces that have really fat, or really thick pieces of fat on it. And I'm going to start those first because the fat itself, as it starts to render down, right, is pork lard. So, of course, that's going to grease the pan and get all that fat to start rendering down. And then we'll throw in the pieces that don't have any fat so that way they don't come out tough. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, now I just got little chunks of fat with a little bit of meat on it. Gonna start warming that up and get it start to melt down a little bit. And the same as this one. This one is a stone pan, so it tends to make things a little crispier. I gotta fix my light bulb, but I can't reach it because, of course, I'm short. And this one here is the no-stick pan, the super slide, whatever. The one you can cook a candy in it and then fling it right out. So we're gonna have two different types. This type here I'm gonna make like the Chinese food style. And this one over here will be the stuff with the shake and bake style, the coating on it. Now, in this pan here, when I do it, I use breadcrumbs and flour and garlic and things like that and soy sauce. Well, this one here, once it renders down, it will just be all the chip coating and everything, cooking in the oil. But the trick is don't move them around a lot, because if you do, then you're going to lose your coating. You got to just let them kind of crisp up on one side. And you have to be diligent in turning them over. And yeah, they are small, but that's where a pair of tongs comes in, just nice and handy, and you can just flip them right over. You know, it gives you something to do while you're having a beer watching your stories on TV. Okay, be right back. So while we're waiting for that to warm up and start getting the pan all nice and yummy and everything, I'm making pickled eggs as well. So we got a whole bunch of eggs, fresh farm eggs, and then I made up some, it's basically vegetable rice. It was almost a soup, but I just used the leftover stuff that we had last night. We had chicken with tomato rice, a little bit of vinegar in it, and Mr. Moon calls it chicken tell on Hammy, because, you know, he can always tell when it's coming. So, all right, well, that's what I'm doing in the meantime. I'm having a beverage and I'm watching Ted Baird on YouTube. That's awesome. Okay, all right, well, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, so the first batch with the Doritos topping, the coating on it, that fat there's already started to melt down, so we've added the shake and bake Doritos and the shake and bake pork, and that's just a little bit of flour that I sprinkled on the top just to soak up any excess oil. And then for the buttons, we did the exact same thing. We've added it in before it's all completely cooked. And there's just a little bit of cornmeal and a tiny little bit of flour because of the soy sauce to soak that up, to give it a nice crispy crust. Okay, all right. And I guess, well, I'll show you what it looks like once we get it done. Okay, so the Chinese food type one is coming along quite nicely. You can see that. It's starting to crisp up. This one I don't mind if I stir it up a little bit. But yeah, look at that right there. Oh yeah, that's looking good. So we want all of it to look like that, so it has a nice little crispy coating on it. And it's going to get soft anyways once you put your plum sauce and that on it. But that's that one. I put the lid back on. Where's the lid? It's crazy in that kitchen. Cat keeps playing with my house coat. And then there's our Dorito one. I'm just using my rice spoon this time. I don't want to stir it up too much. But as you can see, some of the coating's coming off, so if I just leave it, it'll all stick, but it's getting that nice brown color and nice and orange, and oh yeah, and this stuff, I know it doesn't seem like, you know, you could eat potato chips on your meat, but the thing is, it's just like shake and bake. The only thing that you're doing is instead of using like a whole bunch of flour and cornmeal, because there's cornmeal, flour, and then all the spices in your shake and bake. Well, this is just using a potato chip, and it kind of does the same thing. And you can do it in any flavor that you want. And I love this. I do. I absolutely love it. I do one with dill pickle chips. And I'll bust that all up. And then before I make my pan fries, like fried potatoes, I'll roll them around in it. And then my potatoes have like that little tangy zip to them, like pickle fry. And it's really good too. And these are things you can do while you're camping, because you don't need a lot of heat, so you can set it off to the side. You can just leave it while you go about doing your camp stuff and everything else. And it's good. I mean, everybody usually has those little condiment packages. They usually bring chips with them. They usually have a little bit of flour or pancake mix, you know, and say you run out of butter or oil. Well, that's the thing. As long as you do this, you know, the first day, your pork's not going to go bad. Just render down your pork fat first, and then you've got the oil. But mind you, you got to use it that day, because it's not going to keep, right? But yeah, it's awesome. And then even with instant potatoes, or cut up a potato and make some French fries, just pan fries. It's gonna be great. An onion. Oh yeah, I'll show you how to eat good while you're camping, for sure. All right, well, stay tuned, and we're getting ready to plate it up pretty soon. And as soon as Mr. Moon comes back, he fixed my light bulb. Love him for that. Awesome. All right, and then you can see what it's gonna look like. I just wish you could smell it, and I wish you could taste it, but it's really, really good. Okay, I'll be back. Hey folks, all the cooking is done. Take two, try this again. We have the pork chop with the Dorito, Cheeto, and potato chip coating off to the side, drizzled with some barbecue sauce. On this side right here, we have a bed of lettuce with the tomato vegetable rice. It's very tangy and zippy. There's a little just a little touch of vinegar in there to give it that extra zing, with a hard-boiled egg on top, some ranch dressing, some yellow sweet pepper, bell pepper, and 2 pieces of mozzarella. Well, no, I guess that's not mozzarella. I guess that's marble cheese. I don't know. Cheese is cheese. It's good. So I hope you try this. And like I say, you can do this when you're camping, and it's wonderful. So enjoy. Thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Bon appetit. Or choke it down, whatever you want to do. All right, thanks for watching. God bless. Keep your moonshine on. I'm going to eat. I'm hungry. Hey, folks, cooking is done. On the left, we have the little, but the